Hello, and welcome to the Abundology Podcast. My name is Renee Spears, and I'm a law of attraction coach and mentor and a spiritual advisor. And I help people be happy and have more money, love, time, and joy in their lives. I'm coming to you from a stormy downtown Portland, Oregon, and this is the weekly energy update for the week of November 15th, 2020. Every Sunday, I talk about how the energy is going to be for the week ahead, and I also infuse the show with some positive vibes, so you do get a little positive energy boost just for listening. So happy Diwali! Diwali is India's biggest and most important holiday of the year, and this festival is as important to Hindus as Christmas is to Christians. It's a 5-day long festival, and it symbolizes the spiritual victory of light over dark and good over evil, and knowledge over ignorance. And the energy of Diwali affects us because we are influenced by the collective energy on the planet. And there are over 1.2 billion Hindus worldwide. So with that many people celebrating and acknowledging good over evil and light over dark, it affects us too. And also, there was a new moon in Scorpio last night. So we are in new moon energy right now. And this new moon in Scorpio brings with it this rejuvenated energy after a really tough year. We're going to feel empowered and determined to make up for all that time which we feel has been lost in 2020. Astrologers see this new moon as a turning point in the year, and it's going to feel really invigorating, a turning point. Just those words right now after our crazy 2020 feel good. So new doors are going to start to open that we didn't even realize that were there. This new Scorpio moon is about an intense, fresh start. We want to use this renewed energy to focus on ourselves and use it as the push we need to get some new projects started. So this new moon is a magical time because we have this mystical Neptune in Pisces also, which is affecting and enhancing our psychic abilities and our imagination. So this is a good time to visualize, to draw, and even write about our deepest wishes and desires during this time, and to help them come true. So in other words, this is an incredible time to manifest and set your intentions for the rest of the year. So what do you want to accomplish between now and the start of the year? What do you want to focus on as the year comes to a close? We can use this energy to break our old habits and replace them with new ones, kind of like we did with our president, getting rid of old things, bringing in new things. We're being given an incredible, powerful opportunity to reset. And as a reminder, the steps to manifesting are pretty easy. The first one, identify what you want. The second one, visualize yourself accomplishing it or receiving it. The third one, take the action steps toward bringing your dream or your goal into existence. So you identify, you visualize, you take action. And then the final one is to appreciate what you want as if you have already received it. So when you're manifesting, it's important to realize and know that what you're trying to manifest, you're actually going to get. If you set your intention like, I am going to do this, that's very, very different energy than, gosh, I kind of hope this comes true. So appreciating what you desire as if you've already received it. And because the new moon also sextiles Jupiter and Pluto, we get an infusion of optimism. Things are looking up. We have a lot of healing to do, and this new moon brings not only that, but also the promise of growth and abundance. Brought to us by my favorite planet, Jupiter. So this new moon is bringing us a lot of positive vibes. So Jupiter is known for allowing us to see the silver lining in things. It shines rays of hope and positivity. And Jupiter gives us the ability to see things from a wider perspective. Its energy allows us to break free from our limitations and our maybe closed minds and to soar above it all, where we can see how every action and every event is always leading us to where we need to be. It allows us to remember that there's always a higher plan unfolding. So as humans, sometimes we forget that. There is always a higher plan. And as I get older in my life, I can even look back on my life and see a reason for everything that has happened. And I talk to many clients that want to know why something happened. Like, this happened this week. What does it mean? And sometimes it takes years to figure out why something happened. Very seldom do you know in the moment why it happened. But as you get older and you look back, you realize that life is like a finely crafted novel where everything just fits together perfectly. I just love that. Things that have happened in my life, I think, I will never use this skill again. Why did this happen? And then 30 years later, you find yourself, oh, that's why this happened. So life is like a finely crafted novel where everything fits together perfectly. And we can use all of the positivity from Jupiter we can get our hands on as we enter another COVID shutdown. But what's different about this one is the energy isn't as intense. We have some positive stuff happening up in the sky. The election is over and we can see the light at the end of the Trump tunnel. And we know more about what to expect this time. So many of us during the last lockdown had planned to maybe, learn to knit, clean out your closet, or do the things that you didn't have time to do before because you were so busy. But it didn't really work out that way for many of us. It was such a stressful and overwhelming time that we didn't have the energy really to do those things. I don't know about you, but I just needed all of my energy just to make it through the day and keep my mental health strong. But this shutdown is different. We know now more about what to expect. The planets aren't as intense, and we know we're going to be in for it for a few months. I think we can all agree, looking at the spikes of COVID, that this isn't going away in 2 weeks. So with the new moon energy and Jupiter's help, this is the time to make a plan for the COVID shutdown. You might actually learn how to knit this time because we are going to feel like moving forward. So take the steps now to make this time more meaningful, to get more in touch with your spiritual side, to finish projects, to read books, and to enjoy the fuck out of this winter. So my plan is to get lots of exercise during this shutdown with walks and workouts and yoga. I decided to focus on working out because a couple days ago I did some squats. I did 24 squats, not very many. And now I can barely sit down on the toilet because my legs are so sore. I realize that I could probably be in a lot better shape, especially as I'm getting a little older and want to remain strong and healthy. So my other plan is to finally focus on my business. After retiring from mortgages and starting something new, I wasn't really sure what I was good at or how it worked or what I wanted to do. But after a couple years now of practicing, I'm finally ready to kick it into high gear. So I am focusing on the law of attraction, coaching and mentoring, and spiritual advising. And it feels good to finally be moving forward. So to recap, we have some really positive forward motion energy. This is the perfect time to identify what you want and manifest it. Identify what you want for this lockdown time and identify what you want for the rest of your life. And then take the steps to get it. And get ready to feel much better than you have in quite a while. So, I love that. We're feeling better. We're turning a corner. It's an ending in the year and we're moving forward. I don't know how many months that I've waited to say those things to you guys. So now for a really quick, embarrassing Renee story. So back in the 80s, which is the time of perms and aerobics and leg warmers, I worked at Payless Gas and Grocery in Susanville, California while I was going to college. And my son Ryan was a toddler at that time. So one day I needed to go to work and I worked the afternoon shift. So I needed to get Ryan ready to go to the babysitter. And so he was in the high chair eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and it was smeared all over his face. So I pick him up out of the high chair and I carry him to the sink to, wash him up and get him cleaned up. And while I picked him up, he had a part of a sandwich in his hand. But when I got to the sink, he didn't have that sandwich in his hand anymore. So I just assumed that he dropped it on the floor and the dog ate it, which is, usually the dog was around the high chair waiting for things to fall on the floor. So I drop him off at the babysitter and I go to work. It's the end of my shift, which is about 8 hours later, and my coworker says, "What is that in your hair?" So I had this big 80s perm at the time, and apparently that piece of peanut butter sandwich was stuck in my perm, and I had worked 8 hours with a damn sandwich in my hair, and nobody told me. So please be a kind human, and if you see someone with a sandwich stuck in their hair, tell them. As always, thank you for listening. If you enjoy this podcast, please subscribe or like it or tell your friends about it. This is my push now to take my business to the next level, and I would really appreciate your support. Have a wonderful, positive, moving forward week, and I will talk to you next week.